On Wednesday, December the 10th, it was announced that Google will be paying out nearly $700 million in settlements to people who paid money to download apps through the Google Play Store, which I would imagine includes many of the people watching this video right now. Now, this announcement, it came in the form of a statement from the Attorney General in multiple states who were collectively suing Google for anti-competitive practices. Google decided to settle this lawsuit, and in so doing, among several other concessions, they'll be paying out $700 million, the bulk of which is going to the actual users. And so let's go through the details of the case, what Google was accused of doing, how the settlement money will be dispersed, and also how you can know whether you qualify or not. And as always, before we jump into it, if you appreciate content like this and you hope more people will become aware that Google owes them money, well, I hope you smash those like and subscribe buttons so that this video can reach ever more people via the algorithm, which is ironically YouTube's algorithm owned by Google. So thank you for that. Now, the case in question stems back to the year 2020. That was when a company called Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite, they filed a lawsuit against Google, arguing that Google was unfairly controlling how apps were being distributed as well as paid for on Android phones. The crux of their argument was threefold. Firstly, Epic Games argued that Google was forcing app makers to use the Google Play Store. Even though technically Android is supposed to be an open operating system, the lawsuit argued that Google was using things like contracts, warnings, as well as general technical barriers to steer people back to the Google Play Store. Basically, the first argument in the case was that Google made it very hard for Android users to get apps anywhere other than the Google Play Store. Then secondly, Google was forcing the apps on the Play Store to use Google's own payment system. And so, for instance, if an app offered in-game purchases, like for instance, the skins that are sold in the Fortnite game, Google required that the app use Google's own in-app payment system, which of course sounds convenient until you learn that the price of that convenience was that Google took a fat cut of the revenue. Oftentimes, it was like 30% of the money. Epic Games, in their Fortnite game, they wanted to use their own payment system to avoid that fee, but they weren't allowed. Then lastly, the third point in the case was related to anti-competitive practices. The lawyers for Epic Games, they were able to show the court evidence that Google was paying phone makers, cell phone carriers, and even other companies to not support either rival app stores or alternative payment methods. That argument, the third argument, was that these deals basically stop any new competitors from being able to get any traction at all, creating, in essence, a monopoly type of situation. And so given these three arguments, what Epic Games did was that they intentionally broke Google's rules by adding their own payment system to Fortnite, specifically to the Fortnite app on Android. As expected, Google kicked Fortnite off the Play Store, and Epic Games immediately filed a lawsuit claiming that Google's rules themselves were illegal. Now, the case bounced around the court system for a while until 3 years later in 2023, a jury sided with Epic. The jury found that, for one, Google illegally maintained monopoly power. Secondly, that Google's Play Store and payment rules unfairly harmed their competitors. And that thirdly, Epic Games was indeed harmed by these practices. Now, Google appealed that decision, but just earlier this year, in July of 2025, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit upheld the jury verdict, meaning Google lost the appeal. And so all of that was the backstory for the settlement I mentioned at the top of the episode. The settlement, which you can see up on your screen right there, is fairly long. It's roughly 70 pages long. And included among the provisions is an agreement by Google to pay people who were harmed. Quote, Google has agreed to pay out a $700 million settlement to people who pay to download apps through the Google Play Store. The settlement, filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, San Francisco Division in December of 2023, would direct most of the money to consumers who purchased apps via the Google Play Store and suffered harm from Google's alleged anti-competitive practices. And by the way, the reason it says alleged practices is because even with this settlement, Google continues to deny any wrongdoing. All right, just to pause here for a super quick moment, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, the one, the only, Patriot Mobile. Look, the freedom that we enjoy has never been free. And lately, with ever-growing political violence, we're just being reminded again and again of how high the cost can be. And unfortunately, many of the companies that we're kind of forced to do business with spend their profits to support groups and ideologies That leads to some pretty bad stuff, to put it lightly. But that's why Patriot Mobile exists. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And for the past 12 years, they've been defending faith, family, and freedom, while at the same time providing the same or even better premium network access on all three of the major US networks. Unlimited data, mobile hotspots, international roaming, they basically do it all, meaning that you don't have to sacrifice quality or service. You get good quality, good service while supporting a good company. Hundreds of thousands have already joined the movement by switching their cell service to Patriot Mobile, and now every time they pay their bill, they're not just paying their bill, they're also supporting the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, our veterans, as well as our first responders. Switching, by the way, is also super easy. You can keep your number, you can keep your phone, or if you want to, you can also upgrade. Their 100% US-based customer service team can get you activated in minutes just over the phone. And so today, I would say, is the perfect day to call 972-PATRIOT, or you can visit patriotmobile.com/Roman. And to our viewers, they're actually offering a promo. Use promo code Roman for a free month of service. Again, that's patriotmobile.com/Roman, or just call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Roman for a free month of service. And of course, everything will also be down there in the description box below. You can click on that link. It'll take you to the website, or the phone number will be down there as well. So check them out. They support the show. Let's support them right back. Patriot Mobile, thank you so much. And now let's get back to the content. Now, out of the $700 million settlement, $70 million of it is going directly to the states, while $630 million is earmarked to be given out to the consumers who were actually affected. And as such, you had the Attorney General of all 50 states take legal action, which culminated in the creation of this website right here. It's called Google Play State AG Antitrust-Litigation.com. It'll, of course, also be linked down in the description box below. It is the official compensation website, and it claims that anyone who made payments through either the Google Play Store and or through Google Billing between August 16th of 2016 and September 30th of 2023 is eligible for compensation. Now, the amount of money that you actually stand to get is tied directly to how much money you spent on the Google Play Store during that period of time. And so it's not possible for me to give you an exact dollar amount of how much you'll be owed. Everyone will be different. If you spent more, if you downloaded more apps, if you bought more in-app purchases in your games, you stand to get a lot larger of a payout. Now, in terms of what you should do to be claiming your money, well, the website says that you actually don't need to do anything. Quote, "The settlement fund will make the majority of payments automatically, and no claim form is necessary in most cases. Once the settlement has been approved by the court, you will receive an email from PayPal or a text from Venmo notifying you of your incoming payment at the email address or mobile phone number associated with your Google Play account. If that email address or phone number is also associated with a PayPal or Venmo account, then the payment will be made directly to that account. If that email address or phone number does not match an email address or phone number associated with a PayPal or Venmo account, then you have the option to create a new account or redirect the payment to an account at another email address or phone number. Meaning, in the meantime, while you're waiting for the payment, consider making sure that the email you have as your Google Play Store email is the same email on your PayPal or Venmo account. However, if either you don't have access to that email address anymore, or you don't have a PayPal or Venmo account and you don't want to create one, there are alternate methods to get your money. Quote, "If you A, do not have an existing PayPal or Venmo account and do not want to sign up for PayPal or Venmo, B, no longer have access to the email address or mobile phone number associated with your Google Play account, or C, were expecting to receive a payment but did not, there will be a supplemental claims process after the automatic payments process is complete." And for that supplemental process, there's a page on the website where you can go ahead and enter your contact details so that you can get notified directly when that claims process begins. I'll throw the link to that page directly, the URL to it. You can find it down in the description box below. However, do know that by accepting this money, you actually forfeit your right to sue Google independently for this whole antitrust Google Play Store issue. And if you, for some reason, anticipate wanting to sue Google yourself in the future for this, you have until February 19th of 2026 to exclude yourself from the settlement, and in so doing, retain your right to sue. Now, I of course, doubt many people will go down that route, but the option is there. Again, everything that you need that's directly related to claiming your money or excluding yourself from the money will be down in the description box below. Now, for their part, Epic Games was actually not thrilled with the settlement, claiming that it was too small. Speaking with Ars Technica, you had the Epic Games Vice President for Public Policy say the following after the settlement cleared, quote, "The $700 million settlement's one-time payout will provide no true relief for consumers or developers. Epic Games had originally sought a much higher settlement, asking for $10.5 billion in antitrust damages identified as Google's unjustly collected fees. Consumers will continue to overpay for digital goods as a result of Google's imposition of super competitive 30% fees for Google Play billing or 20% junk fees on top of payments Google isn't involved in processing. Developers will also continue to be restricted in how they distribute their apps, and developers who choose to use a third-party payment option will be forced to use Google's deceptively labeled user choice billing system rather than having creative freedom over the design of their payment systems. The state settlement does not address the core of Google's unlawful and anti-competitive behavior." I guess that's what you would call a bittersweet victory. And so there you have it. If you'd like to dig either deeper into the story yourself or find all the links to claim your money, everything will be down there in the description box below. That same description box right below those like and subscribe buttons, both of which I hope you already smashed, but if not, here's another opportunity. And then last thing, if you appreciate this content and you think, hey, wait a minute, because of this information, Roman just helped me to claim a few extra dollars, $20, $40, $200, who knows? Again, it depends on how much you actually spend on the Play Store, but hey, I have more money in my pocket. What do I do with that money? Well, you're in luck because the Epic Times is running a phenomenal holiday sale. It's a trial offer on our subscription, just costs a few bucks, but you will get literally a full subscription worth $100+. So it's kind of an asymmetric purchase. You just pay a few dollars, but you get a full $100+ subscription with everything. All the articles, the infographics, the analysis pieces, the documentaries, the video series, everything. Everything we've been putting up there for the last 25 years, and everything we'll be putting up there as news breaks and develops into the future. You will get access to everything. So if you've been on the fence about trying the Epic Times, you don't know what you're going to do with your Google Play Store settlement money, check it out. The link will be down there at the top of the description box. So in the description box, you click the buttons, you get your settlement. Also in the description box, you click the money to spend your settlement on a trial subscription to the Epic Times. Hope you do, because the Epic Times is awesome. It supports my work. It supports the work we're doing, but it also gives you access to all the great content. So it's a win-win-win. Check it out. The link will be down there in the description box below. Hope you click on it and join us over at theepictimes.com. And then until next time, I'm your host, Roman from the Epic Times. Stay informed, and most importantly, stay free.